What's up, my people? We are back on the Knuckleball Prime Time. We're in the heat of August, and football season's here. It's going to kick off, and we got Coach Schweiss in the barn today, not at the field. How you doing, Coach? And how you like the barn your first time here?
This is pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. I was didn't really know what to expect. I saw a few pictures and walked in here. I was like, dang, this is nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the hangout, man. We're trying to bring it together, just bring like a real media space to where like young guys, if they want to do it, can create some stuff and all that. But it's a grind. Just come together. We've been about a year and a half in, so we're going to make it work. How's your summer been, man?
Good, man. We've had great weather up until today.
Yeah.
We've had some really good weather. So, it seems like this happens sometimes. You get all the good weather, and then as soon as the games start, this is when the heat comes. So,
did you get a lot of family time aside football?
Yeah, I mean, we did.
You be at the ball field a lot.
Yeah, we're at the ball field a ton. We did a little Branson trip with Camden, and we did. We actually went out to Colorado and did a mountain trip with my wife's family, so that was nice. And we sent Slade off to college, and
how's he doing? Year two?
He did a year at Mac, and now he's down at Missouri State. So we sent him off at Missouri State Saturday, and Mama probably shed a few tears, but I think he's gonna enjoy it down there. So I'm looking.
He's gonna try to baseball or anything?
No, he's just
student
doing the academia stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need that sometimes, just to get away from here and experience some different things.
I'm looking forward to it for him. I think he's going to really flourish down there, and getting away from the house will be good for him to learn a little more independence. And I think he's really looking forward to it.
What's Ty got going on?
Ty is actually working for right now. He's working for Chris Calloway and Callaway's Heating and Cooling. He didn't want to do the education route. He was done with school, so he just wanted to go straight to work, and so he joined the workforce. And
he didn't want to like teach like you, or what?
Nah, he just didn't want to go to college. He was just done with school. He always made good grades, but school just wasn't for him. He'd rather be out working with his hands, doing some stuff, and so Chris hired him, and that's going well so far. I don't know if he'll continue that the whole time, but I know so far he's really enjoying himself.
It's always about life after football too, especially with the kids and stuff. So I always like to ask about the boys and what they got going on. So they always give me crap when they come see me umpire, and so I enjoy doing that and all that. So other than that, how's the football been? Getting there and being there all summer?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think we have a really good squad coming up, so it's been fun working with them. As I've gotten older, I've really been able to enjoy it. It seems like I've been able to enjoy it more. I've got some really good assistants. I don't feel like I have to do quite as much.
And that's what we were just talking about. I feel like once you get assistants, it takes a lot off that. You don't have to stress your guys self out on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, my assistants are awesome. I mean, it's really just a lot of former players, honestly, and which makes it even cooler, I think, because, you get to see those guys grow up. They're kind of like your boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not really your kids, but, you kind of helped raise them for 4 years, so you get to see what they've become, and they get to be role models like you would want them to be, and you get to see that on a daily basis. And, it doesn't really get much better than that.
Hey guys, this is Nick, owner of the Bullpen Sports Grill in Ludington. Come visit us daily for lunch or dinner, or come get your party on the weekends with live music and our house DJ. Check out our Mechanical Bull. We're the place that has it all. Check us out on Facebook, like our page, and follow all of our events. That's the Bullpen Sports Grill in Ludington.
From a football team standpoint, how was the weight room aside from the field this year?
The weight room's good. We've got a lot of really strong kids. I feel like, the work ethic with our group's been really good. We've got some really good leaders this year, and, that goes a long way. Anytime you have leadership quality kids that we've got on this football team, I think the sky's the limit. I mean, they work hard, they're strong, they're fast. They do everything you ask them to do. They're smart. I mean, everything that you'd want in a good football team we've got this year. So really looking forward to really just meshing with them, more than anything. I think, I'll probably be more open to letting them kind of develop some of their own stuff this year, just because they have the ability to do so. It'll be like an open book. I'll let them have a lot of input on things that we do, and I know Coach Jones will too on defense. So, I'm really looking forward to how this thing comes together this season.
I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my next question. Was this more of a summer of adding to like what you already had, or just kind of developing, like as like your offensive caller, maybe the defense?
Yeah, I think the big thing this year, obviously we were able to do quite a bit as the year went on last year. I think every year you kind of have to, when you start, you step back and you have to go over the basics and the fundamentals. I think that's just something you have to do because not everybody's coming back. But at the same time, you could definitely get into stuff a lot quicker because the learning curve for a lot of them wasn't there this year because they've been doing it a while. So I'm really looking forward to how fast we can get started. I thought last year we won football games, but it wasn't like we didn't look good all the time doing it. I thought the first 2 weeks of the season against Bluff and Crothersville last year we were real slow starters. I know we put up 50-something points against Crothersville, but offensively in the first 2 weeks, I did not feel like we were very good yet. We were just better. Like we had better players, but I didn't feel like we were executing very well. Yeah,
small things, blocks. Yeah,
all the little stuff. And then as the season went on, we just got better and better. And it turned out to be a pretty good season for us, but still disappointing the way it ended.
Do you kind of like go in with a plan, or do you kind of just enjoy the season?
It's hard to enjoy the season right when it's over, when you lose a game, but when you have time to sit back and look at what the guys accomplished and think about, everything, that, it was a good season, but there's so many what ifs, especially in that last game, there was a lot of what ifs. There was about 5 different things that you could have looked at and said,
the sectional game?
Yeah, in the quarterfinal game. It was just like, what if this would have happened or what if that would have happened? So those things are
like the hold.
Yeah, that hole, but yeah, that, and we had a couple drop balls. We had a couple
drops.
We had an interception that on the return we fumbled, and what they called a dual possession. There's a play that on a kickoff we picked up at the 1 yard line instead of letting it go in the end zone.
We were very much in that game though.
Oh yeah, I mean there were so many things, and really in the second quarter there was about a 3-minute spurt where there was about 4 or 5 things that happened back to back to back that really ended up being the difference in the football game. And we were able to even battle through all that and come out in the fourth quarter and have a chance to tie it, and then we had to drop pass. But
you lose possessions.
Yes, but it was still a good going into this season. It's going to be a good experience for them to have gone through that, knowing how close we probably were to winning a state championship. Because, I feel like if you win that game, you probably go all the way. So, we feel like we've got the guys to do it. It's just a matter of finishing, and I know that people say we haven't been able to do that.
I feel like that was going to be my next question too. Like, how do you stay in the frame of just knowing that you can do it?
I think we do that. I think that's kind of our focus. Is just kind of enjoying it. I've already told Coach Jones a couple times already that we have to enjoy this. Like, it's not always going to be this nice. Like, we have to understand that we're in a point in time, and we've said this with some groups in the past, like some of the teams that you guys played on, and that you got to cherish the time that you have with these guys, because there's going to be times. There was times in the past, and there's going to be times in the future where it's not always going to be the way it is right now. And especially at a public school, when you get what you get, you're going to go through ups and downs, and it's try to take advantage of the ups every time you get a chance, and when you have the downs, try to keep them from being way down. And that's kind of where you have to keep your mindset. But at the end of the day, it's all about the relationship with the guys, and if you keep that as your focus, really the wins and losses don't matter as much, because it's really about it's really about the time you have with the guys.
And outside of everything, I feel like as a head coach, you have like a bigger job. You got like, you're thinking about the dynasty like years later, and the right time to step out to hand down things, and I just feel like you have a lot to oversee, and it all is a matter of meshing together, and just finding the right time.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about the program. We've got it to where it's a pretty solid program right now, and it obviously wasn't like that when we all started. But this is my 20th season, so we've been doing this a while now, and it wasn't built overnight. It took a while, and there was a lot of pains that went into it. And you're right, like, I know that this season should be a really good season for us. We've got a lot of really good athletes. And next year, I'm not downplaying the athletes we got coming. It's just we're losing possibly the best class of seniors that we've ever had, like as far as
100%
Division I quality players. So when you lose that, there's going to be a natural step back. So, it would be hard for me to step away after this season, because, people could say, well, you could go out on top. But I wouldn't want that, because I know what it would look like from the outside. Like if let's say Jake or Jace or any of these young coaches take over the program, and then, say we win a lot of games this year, and then next year we go 500 or whatever the case may be, and people could easily say, well, yeah,
it's your fault.
Yeah, well, not necessarily my fault, but let's say I left or whatever, they could blame them for it, and that's not fair because that wouldn't be why. So I feel like I should at least stay until we have kind of more of a down year, and then leave, so that it could be my fault that we had the down year. Not my assistant coaches, because it's not their fault. But
you got to kind of have that year where the people see it coming.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
So that they can build. So it looks like maybe that they're building it back up, which that's all a perception thing anyway. It's just that's the natural process. But that's some way. That's not how people are going to see it, and it shouldn't be that way. But that's just the way it is.
I get how you're seeing. I get how you see it though. Like when you're going to leave it at the right time. I feel like you would never leave them hanging. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, that's like one of my biggest goals right now. I mean, obviously, our goal right now is the team. We focus on the team, but like for program wise, that's like the biggest goal is like when to step away at the right time. Like even if I'm still teaching, I may have to step away before I'm done teaching, just because it's the right time. Like I don't want to do it on a real big high, and I don't want to do it on a real big low. I just need to make sure that it's at a time in which I think we're going to be better the next year. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to step away when we're good, and then next year we're going to be worse. I want to step away when we're good, but next year we're going to be better. And
we've always been the football program school, but we're going to have that down year. With the athletes we had in the few like 4 to 5 years, and what we got now, we're going to have that slump year. I feel like we've always been the football program, and it's going to stay.
Yeah, I think we're in good hands. I mean, like I said, our assistant coaches are phenomenal. Hopefully they'll all stick around when I leave. But I would say our football program's in great hands, and I wouldn't see us taking a step back. Like we may not win as many games as we would have the last couple of years, or maybe even the last decade or whatever. But, we've had a couple down years in the last 15 where we were still managed to stay 500 or a little above. But we've never dropped under that. So, if you're down years, you can at least maintain that 500 or a little bit better and still, win more than you lose. I feel like you'll never really lose the program. So
I feel like just all the district titles, like just put the name on that. It's just like hard to, it'd be hard to see people see us not competing for district titles and stuff, and just kind of just be weird to not see the program like that.
It would be it'd be really weird now. I mean, it wasn't weird 15 years ago because that's what it was, but actually it became harder to win a district championship in 2012 because there was 8 teams in your district instead of just 4. So it actually became harder to win districts in 2012, and then that's when we went on a run and started winning districts every year. And I remember sitting in the athletic director's office with Chad Bradley at the time when they said the districts were going to 8 teams, and I was like, how in the heck are we ever going to win a district? We can't win a district when there's 4 teams. Like, this is stupid.
St. John, Fredericktown?
St. John, Fredericktown, Potosi normally. And there was a few years where Festus was in there, and Herky. But it was just like, I remember making that comment, like, how are we ever going to win a district? And then ever since then, it's like, that's all we did was win districts. So we just got good at the time that they made that change. And I really liked the format of the bracket, playing the bracket. And, because it used to be more like a round robin type deal with 4 teams. And they made it a bracket with 8 teams. And so you still only had to win 3 games, but it was just different, more of a playoff type atmosphere.
Hey, this is Chad from The Barn, and this video is brought to you by Reynolds Landscaping and Lawn Care. Contact Shane Reynolds at 573-516-2387 today for a free bid and to schedule your projects. No job is too big or too small. It's time to get those projects up and going for the spring and summer season. Retaining walls, paving stone patios and walkways, fire pits, mulch, rock, flower beds, install drains, cutting yards, and more. Contact Shane Reynolds at Reynolds Landscaping and Lawn Care at 573-516-2387 for a free bid and to schedule your projects.
So do you agree with the winning and having to move up?
I don't think it's done right. I mean, I think if you're a private school and you're in the city and it's obvious that you pull kids from all over the place, I don't mind those schools bumping up if they win. But like when you lump them all together, when you lump all private schools together, I don't necessarily know if that's the right thing to do. Like, and when they did it, and Valley Catholic went from Class 1 to Class 3 the first year, I didn't think that was necessarily the right way to go about it. I think a school needs to prove that they can, like if they're a Class 1 school, size school like Valley Catholic, I think they should prove it that they can win Class 2 before you bump them to Class 3.
Yeah.
Like, they just went straight from Class 1 to Class 3, which I didn't think was necessarily fair to them, because the year that they bumped up, if I remember right, I think they lost to Caruthersville that year, which Caruthersville was a Class 2 team. So, like, if they were in Class 2, they would, and they lost to Lamar those years, who was a Class 2 team. Like, their only losses were to Class 2 teams, and they just bypassed them. They jumped over them and went to Class 3. And, now Valley's getting to see a little taste of what we have to deal with in Class 3, playing the likes of St. Mary's, who's, we're in their district a couple of years. And so it's tough on them, but there's a chance we could go to Class 4 this year because of because of enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not because of our enrollment going up. They actually made a change with the classes, and Class 1 went from having 50 some odd teams to like 36 or 42 teams. So there's less teams in Class 1 now. Yeah, so all those teams are moving up from Class 1 to Class 2, which bumps the big Class 2 schools up to Class 3, which bumps the big Class 3 schools up to Class 4. We weren't necessarily a big Class 3 school, but we were on the upper side of the middle. So it's going to be really close to pushing us up to Class 4. We're going to be either one of the highest teams in Class 3 from enrollment, or we will be one of the lowest teams in Class 4. So we'll see. We don't find that out till Friday morning.
This Friday?
This Friday.
Wow.
So we don't know yet if we're Class 3 or Class 4. It's going to be interesting.
Going to next year, right?
Yeah, going into this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if we stay Class 3, we'll have a really good shot, because a lot of the Valley's going to Class 2. A lot of the big powerhouse privates are going Class 4. So if we stay Class 3, we'll have a pretty legit shot, I think, and make a run. But obviously, we still have to contend with St. John and, people that we still have to beat.
I was going to ask, looking down the schedule, and who do you kind of just look at and like, that's a good football team?
Yeah, I mean, our schedule is, we've got some good football teams on there. Obviously.
Week 1's good.
We start out Friday with Poplar Bluff, and, they're a good Class 5 school. They beat Jackson last year before they lost to Cape Central in the district championship game. So they're really good. Cape Central went to the Class 5 semifinals last year. They were able to beat MICDS in the quarterfinals, so they're a legit opponent. And we were able to handle them pretty easily last year. But they were young, and they're going to be a lot better. And then obviously we have St. John Week 5, who's we always circle that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Valley Catholic Week 6 now all of a sudden has become a really important football game, not for districts this year because they're going to be Class 2, but because they're in our conference now. And then obviously finishing the season with Farmington is big. And I don't want to overlook our other opponents, like the Potosies and the Fredericktowns of the world, because, we have to treat all.
They always come to play.
We have to treat them all with respect.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those are probably, if you were to look at our schedule, those are the big ones that we would look at.
That's awesome. Do you, as a coach, do you have any like personal goals you're trying to meet for the season?
My big goals come to the relationship. It always goes back to the relationship. Like if there's a kid on this team that feels lost for any reason, and if I don't know that and haven't found that out, I don't feel like I've done my job as a coach. I feel like I should be there, and I should be an outlet for kids if they need it. I should be a father if they need it. I should be whatever the kids need. I should be there for them. And I feel like my assistants feel the same way. And I feel like if someone gets lost through the cracks and they don't feel like they're appreciated in our program, then I feel like we've not done our job. But I'd say my goal personally, as far as the team goes, a lot of people look at wins and losses. I don't really ever. I like to win.
Like that gets in the way of a lot of things.
Yes, I like to win. I obviously like to win. But, I've shaken hands with coaches after games, and it's just, of course, I'm old now, so I get it a little bit more than others. But I shake hands with coaches after the game when I win, and I don't really feel a difference when I win or lose when I shake hands with the coaches, because it's really all about the kids on our team and their team. But I've shaken hands with coaches when we win and the other coaches have lost, and I can tell that they are not the same person that they were in pregame when we were, talking before the game. And I feel like after the game when we lose, when I go through the line, I feel like I'm the same guy to that coach after we lose a game that I was in pregame.
Coin toss.
Yeah, it's like I'm not any different. Like, I congratulate him, tell him they played awesome, their kids did a great job, and congratulate them, and I move on. And sometimes I get
you feel like, okay, so Do you feel like there was a point in your career where you were opposite of that?
Oh, for sure. Like when I was a young coach, it was definitely not like that. I would get so mad. I just think it's part of
what changes that, you know?
I don't know, man. I think just you just mature as you get older, and I don't know. I think having kids having your own kids puts it in perspective. Things that happen in your life, you know, put it in perspective. Like when you start dealing with kids that get kicked out of their house, or you're dealing with kids that, you know, their dad passed away, or their dad committed suicide, or their brother got killed in a car wreck. When you start dealing with those things,
bigger than football,
it puts that other stuff in perspective. Like it's really not that important. Like I know everybody that goes to the games on Friday night and they're at the coffee shop on Saturday morning, they're talking and they're bashing me and they're talking about the kids.
Oh, for sure. And I hear that too on the sidelines, and I hate it because it's like, man, it's just like he's just not that kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, that stuff doesn't bother me because I don't care about it, but at the end of the day, it's just those people don't understand. They don't get what it's about. Like they just see the wins and losses. They just see the.
Well, I feel like some people can think it's about you just playing a certain 11 guys or not, you know, sometimes, and it's not about the other guys. And like, if you were there Monday through Friday, you would know that it wasn't that, you know. And going through it, I've seen it with all that, like, and all the coaches buy in to make even the kids on the sideline feel a part of the team, and they feel a part of the team too when it's coming to scout team, you know, Coach Jones setting that up and all that, making them better for the players to get ready for Friday. So
yes, I tell you, a lot of people don't understand how a football team is made. Like they just see the product on Friday nights, and yeah, you want to play your best players because you want to win the football games, and that's not going to change. I mean, people lose their jobs if they don't win. I mean, let's be real. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, like, you know, we do things in our program to try to build those, like linemen are. If you know football, linemen are the most important people on the team. Like they're the guys that do all the hard work. And I'm not saying the skill guys aren't either, but the linemen don't get the accolades that the other guys get. And let's be honest. And so as a program, you have to like do things special for those guys. Like I want to integrate I'm going to talk to Jody at Domino's and see if she'll sponsor a lineman of the week type deal.
Oh, that's cool.
Special teams player of the week. We want to do and get the community involved in sponsoring those.
Barn to probably do something like that too.
Want to do I would love to do like a scout team player of the week, like a practice player of the week. Because anyone that knows the game knows it takes all those guys.
For sure.
It's not just the guys that are playing on the field on Friday night. Like the guys out on the kickoff team, the kickoff return team, the guys that are on the scout team during the weekend practice that are running the other team's plays. It's hard. It's hard to. We look at some teams and we're thinking the product that they put on the field on Friday night, we're thinking, how can they even practice? Like, what's their scout team look like? You know what I mean? Like, we've got good players on our scout team. Like
that make your starters work.
Yeah, and they're good. Like, they're good players. And if our players do their job on Friday night and take care of business, then those guys get rewarded by playing in the second halves, you know, and that's just kind of how our program's built right now. But
people that do play the scout team and all that, they mostly sophomores or sometimes, small juniors or whatever, but they usually are trying to work their way up to get to that next year to play or be in a spot,
For sure.
And it's always in that place in the program to happen. If you work, the opportunity's always there. So
we always have guys on our scout team that end up making impressions and end up getting playing time on varsity. I mean, that happens every year. I mean, and those guys, the guys that understand that and play their butts off, they get rewarded typically.
For sure.
Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/thebarn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thebarn.
aside from the X's and O's, what's like the big goal with the team this year?
I mean, like I said, we focus on the individual. I would love to see us have. Last year we had a couple get together barbecues where we went out and shot a few deer and legally, and had some get togethers and stuff. And I think the kids really enjoyed that. We've been actually with the football team. We've been actually going over to the Cowboy Church off of 67, and we've been doing some stuff like loading some trailers and trucks for some churches to deliver some food to some needy people. So, that was one of my goals that I've always wanted to do, is do a little bit more stuff out in the community, get the boys a little bit,
Because the games are always packed for sure. They come out and support.
Yeah, they all see the guys in their uniforms and stuff, but to see them out doing stuff in the community and that stuff goes.
They don't do the Casey's Walk no more.
No, we used to do that when Teresa owned it.
Oh yeah,
it was I forget what it was even called.
Like BP Day, first day. Yeah, that was always a good time.
Those were fun. Yeah, and when Casey's bought it, they quit doing that, but that was always a good time.
For sure. You got any questions for me?
No, I mean, it looks like this stuff's pretty cool. I mean, I kind of wonder how this stuff all got started, but
I'm just always been an outgoing guy. I want to talk to people, make new relationships and stuff, and I just have always enjoyed the game. You play fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Talking with the guys, the group text and all that just brings that love you want to get people out there, see what you're doing, what you're talking about and stuff. So brought podcasting about. Me and Chad had just been. He invited me on his podcast, and once we did it, we were just like, man, let's team up, and we just took this and boom, kaboom. So
do you do anything competitively anymore?
With what?
Like anything?
Golf, man. I'm really into golf.
You're into golf.
Yeah, golf is awesome.
We're gonna have to go sometime.
We will. I love it. It's a great time.
I bet you don't throw any clubs, do you?
No. Oh, I do. Ask Jake. Jake. Me and Jake. Jake knows. He seen me miss a couple putts, get mad. Shank one in the woods. It's not good when I get mad out there, but it's fun. Golf's a humbling sport. You just can't go out there and be good at it.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I was like, man, I'm gonna go wake up early in the morning, hit the range, chip and all that. So now I'm about a 10, 11 handicap, so I'll take that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you could probably beat me then.
I can hit a 3-wood about 270.
Really?
I
straight?
Yeah.
Straight in the woods?
No. Sometimes. It's all right. I love it. But nothing competitive. I just do this a lot. This takes a lot of time, especially like advertising, editing. You got to let people know. Got to drop it on everything,
Right.
It takes a lot of time. But it's all worth it.
Well, good deal. That's awesome.
If Maritime's not doing that, we'll have to set something up for sure. Yeah. And I want to get the kids on more and bring them into and have interviews and stuff, because that's cool too. Makes them feel a part of it.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure they would love that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Good luck this season. Have fun.
Man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Go Rebels.
Go Rebels, baby.
I'll do the LSU coach. How do you talk? Go Tiger.
Go Tigers.
Go Rebels.
It's Coach Schweiss, Daryl Buchanan. We're on the Knuckleball Primetime, and we're out, baby.